Who will be the good example as successful leaders from your point of view?
It's interesting, you will not have heard of any one of them because in the business world, as opposed to the political world, the most successful leaders tend to be relatively quiet and promote other people's visibility. There was a gentleman who wrote a book called Good to Great named Jim Collins, who did some research.
Right.
And what he did is he looked to see who were the most effective leaders analytically by their stock price over many years. And it turns out at the time he completed the study, the number one most successful company was a drugstore company called Walgreens. They were more profitable than anybody else. And yet nobody, most other CEOs, couldn't tell you who the president of Walgreens was.
Fantastic.
Everybody knows the president of GE when it was Jack Welch and so forth and so on. So the key skill is people that are effective at promoting and retaining the best people and keeping them happy. And if they're good at doing that, you recognize the company name but not the individual name. McDonald's certainly a good case.
Of course.
History. By the way, most leaders who fail still have a contract that guarantees them so much money for leaving that there's not much loss. You know, they walk away a failure but with multi-millions of dollars in the bank. And good excuses of why it wasn't really them, it was something else.
Yes, yes. So this system, can you identify future leaders? Yes.
Very much, and that's what we work with organizations doing. Not necessarily at the top level, and I say that only because that's almost too late. You need to begin the process much earlier to develop and specialize those. But we work with quite a few organizations who do just that. And by the way, the process reduces turnover by about 30% and increases productivity by over 30%. So the return on investment is very strong. I mentioned that we worked with General Motors, the two profitable parts. Well, the bottom line is the fleet and commercial organization that applied total quality management and the productivity analytics all the way for 4 years in a row improved sales by $1 billion, which was essentially a return on investment of 1,400%, which is a pretty good ROI.
Fantastic.
We are even willing for companies who will, for a 3-year period, apply all the principles, guarantee the return on investment or their money back.
Oh, really?
Now, one thing we should say is we're not an executor. We just develop the tools.
That's right.
We want to be Intel inside, so to speak, that all good computers are going to have an Intel processing system or something like it. Or if we use the medical analogy, we want to be the company that invents the best X-ray machine and so forth, but still have the best hospitals and the best doctors use them.
That's why we partner with people to actually deliver the service in organizations, because they can be with them to help develop the people. Once we give them the good information about what a person's skills are, our partners can then help the company to allow those people to develop those skills further and focus their activities on jobs where they can make a big contribution.
Yes. Anything else that you want to add on the subject of leadership?
I would suggest only one thing, that if someone was to take a takeaway, to realize the old expressions about avoid failure turn out to be correct, because political face, not in the political world, but just in the general world, is so important that if you failed early in your career, you're going to have to change your company. The other second thing to consider, and I understand you're also president of an academic institution, so you can understand this. Most MBA programs say, well, go to work for 2 years and take your MBA and so forth. That is very effective if the day you graduate you plan to look for a job in a different company. Because all the people you work with are going to see you on Tuesday and you're going to graduate Tuesday night, and Wednesday you're not going to be any different at all in their eyes. So the MBA degree is worthless. But if you go to the new company now and come in as an MBA, all of a sudden your respect and status is much higher.
Well, thank you, Albert. I think we have a short break now for a commercial break, and she'll be coming back in a few minutes. Thank you.